welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. A lot of real estate transactions happening in the Houston market right now, and if you've got a real estate question, you can call us and we'll answer your question right here in the studio every Sunday between 6 and 7 p.m. That number is 281-882-8088. So I have an interesting show for you this segment. I've got Debbie Riddle here in the studio with me. She's right here in the RREA.com studio, which is in District 150. She is our state representative, and I wanted to bring her in because she's out on the campaign trail, and we want to find out what's going on in the district. So welcome to the show, Debbie.
Thank you, Shannon. It's great to be here, and I'm really impressed with your offices.
Well, thank you.
And having been a realtor myself for 18 years, I feel quite at home.
So you were a realtor for over 18 years. That is a long time. And I know once you love real estate, it never leaves you, does it?
It becomes part of your DNA.
And I know that kind of makes you passionate about keeping up home values in your district, right?
Absolutely.
So I know you had a big fight on your hands recently, just trying to maintain home values and make sure that homeowners are protected in their home values. Tell us about that.
Well, I actually have a fight on my hands all the time, not just recently. It's basically a 24/7. And one of the things that we have to do is make sure that the constituents, the people that I represent, have their voice heard in Austin, particularly when it comes to the low-income housing apartment projects that go through the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. When they come in, and there are some, not all, but there are many unscrupulous developers. They come in, they put these things up, and it overloads the community. It overloads the schools, overcrowds the schools. It taxes our emergency services. It taxes the hospitals. It puts a heavy burden on the community. And quite frankly, it also brings in drugs, crime, gangs, the whole 9 yards.
Which brings down housing values.
And last session, that was the biggest fight that I've had. Actually, yesterday, I killed another one.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
I kill somewhere between 6 and 10 a year in my district. And but last session, the Senate had a bill that would not only take their voice out of the conversation regarding the low-income housing, it's all done on points, it would also take our voice out. And as state representatives, that would be devastating for my district because my district, they were going to pass it down to mayors and to city council. My district doesn't have a mayor. And my district does not have a city council.
And that's one of the things that makes your district unique.
Extraordinarily unique. That's the good news and the bad news for my district.
So your opponent that is in the race against you right now, you've been in this position for 12 years now.
Yes.
You know it very well. How difficult would it be for somebody coming in to learn this whole system and how to protect homeowners? I mean, don't you think that's a lot to learn and take care of?
There's a large learning curve. And last session, the battle that I fought, and I basically took on the whole Senate and declared war against the Senate regarding this. The way that I killed the bill and pulled together a coalition of 4 other members of the House, colleagues of mine. 3 of them are Democrats, 1 a Republican, and we were able to do that. But it takes a depth of knowledge and understanding of the process, the rules. You don't just walk in and suddenly know all of that. It's much like in real estate. You don't learn everything you need to know in real estate and contracts and how to deal with buyers and sellers overnight.
Right.
And the longer you're there, the more you do, the more you learn, the more valuable you become to your industry. My seniority is all that does for me. It gets me a little nicer office and a little better parking spot. But my seniority is currency for my constituents.
Yeah, I agree with that. District 150 has been lucky to have you all these years.
Thank you.
So tell me some of the things. Well, before we go on that, let's talk about unincorporated. Your area is unincorporated. Is that a benefit or an obstacle for you, for your district?
It's a little bit of both. The because we do not have a mayor and because we do not have a city council, pretty much the entire load of what would normally go to a mayor or city council comes to me. And I'm extremely accessible. My campaign number is actually my cell phone. On all my literature and everything that goes out, that's actually my cell phone. All of my constituents have complete access to me with their cell phone. And so the more traps you've got to go through with city council and mayor and all of that, that's cut down. So we're able to streamline to a large degree.
So the issues that your district have are not necessarily the issues that other districts have. They're not other problems that other districts have. And so being kind of a unique problem, you've got to take care of it a little differently. Is that right?
It's a 24/7 job, much like real estate is. It's 24/7, and that's why I never go anywhere without my cell phone. It doesn't matter whether it's a barking dog or whether it's a flooding ditch. Many of the things really don't have anything to do with the state. They have to do with the county, or they might have to do with federal. Our county commissioner, he has 1.2 million constituents. So I'm really the first line of defense for my constituents. So we don't just give them a phone number and say, call this one over here at the county or call your congressman.
Right.
We hold their hand and we walk them through the process because we know how we can cut through a lot of the minutia, if you will, to get to the answer.
Yeah. Well, I know the primary's coming up in March, and the primary is so important. So many people don't vote in the primaries, and I don't think they realize how important it is. What are your thoughts on that?
Your primary voters are your well-informed voters. They are the, Rush Limbaugh calls it, low-information voters and high-information voters. Your primary activist, that is where the decisions are made as to who is actually going to be on the ticket in November. And so I have been involved in the Republican Party as a strong conservative. I work well with independents and Democrats. I actually have Democrats even supporting me because of how they are my constituents, because of how well I have served them. It matters not to me whether someone's a Republican or Democrat. If they're in my district, I take care of them. But it is important to be informed, to be involved, talk to the candidates. I'm available. Call me. Talk to me. It's good.
Yeah. And your office, tell us where your office is located.
My district office, now I cannot run any campaign activity out of my district office, but my district office as a state rep is on Stubner Airline. If they want to call me and visit with me, then we can visit where I do a lot of my campaign work out of our business on 1960 and or Cypress Creek Parkway. But no, it's really important. I have been involved since I was 18. My opponent has only voted in one Republican primary.
So one of the committees that you're on, that you serve on, is the Transportation Committee. And one of the issues that we see here in the Spring area is so many people moving here. And, of course, there are lots of road projects out there. But do you feel like that the transportation initiatives that have been put in place are going to be enough to take care of the volume of people that are moving here?
That's a good question. I hope so. But we've got a tsunami that we're looking at. And I know the county and the state and all of us are doing everything within our power to make sure that that the traffic does run smoothly. With ExxonMobil moving their world headquarters right here in District 150,
right there,
and a whole new little town is actually going to be built. We've got to really take care of that. And so I've got to tell you, we are working very hard. Can I guarantee it? There's always bumps in the road.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Do you have a website people can visit?
Yes, DebbieRiddle.org.
That's easy, DebbieRiddle.org. Well, Debbie, thank you for joining us today in the studio. I appreciate lots of great information. And again, Debbie Riddle, State Representative for District 150. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right. We'll be right back with more here on Houston Real Estate Radio.